Good day, governors and governorettes. What's going on, everybody? Scott the Masked Nerder here, and I actually had another video I was going to put up today, and it was sort of describing a little bit of what's going on last week. You know, I haven't been on YouTube in a while, or haven't put a video up in a while, but I decided to put this video out instead. So instead of talking about that, I'll still leave it in the next video, and that'll come out soon. But what I'm going to be talking about today is, if you remember one of my other live commentaries, I asked if anyone wanted to do a Nerd Time with subscribers with me and talk about some funny spring break stories. No one really had any funny stories to share with me, so I decided I'll still do it, and I'll just talk about a few of my funny ones. Up until this spring break, which I'm on right now, I got the whole week off, I've pretty much always gone on some pretty fun trips with a group of my best friends. And because some of them are working now and I'm in, med school, we don't really have as much time, and this isn't as much of a break, so we're not going on a big trip anymore. Anyway, also, on your screen, before I get on the stories, we have some Conquest pretty old gameplay with the A91 engineer weapon. I love that weapon. I have not used it in a long time because I'm trying to, unlock everything for all the weapons. But this gun was awesome. Anyway, I don't usually put up Conquest because it's not that exciting to me. I don't really enjoy putting it up. I don't think it's that fun. This gameplay is not bad, and of course I did some fast forwarding here. Oh, I thought my team killed that guy, so I pulled back out my RPG, but he was still alive. It worked out. Anyway, let me know if you think it's good gameplay, or if you like seeing Conquest even though it's not the most exciting, and how you feel about fast forwarding. But without further ado, let's get to the funny story, shall we? We're going to start with one of my first spring breaks with my friends. One of the first, not the first. This was in high school, probably around 11th grade. Me and a group of, 4 or 5 friends went to Panama City, Florida, Panama City Beach. And if you go in during the right time, Panama City Beach can be crazy. MTV crews are there, stuff like that. And it can be a lot of fun with a lot of people. So, for some reason, when you get a lot of people consuming alcohol, girls seem to find plastic beads very cool. I really don't understand. All the guys want to buy the beads, and girls want to. Ooh, I was not expecting enemies right there. And all the girls want the beads. They could pay $1 and get 100 beads, but whatever. They like beads. So let me tell you about Panama City Beach real quick. The beach is really thin and narrow. So there's South Beach, or South Road and North Road. I believe that's what they're called. But there's just 2 roads. One goes up, one comes back. On either side of the beach, it's really narrow, and that's the only way to traverse. And during spring break, these roads get really crowded. So it's really slow moving up and down on the roads. And a lot goes on there as the slow traffic's going on. You have tons of topless girls standing up out of sunroofs in the back of pickup trucks. We have people are driving crazy cars and do crazy setups. Like, people put tents over the back of their pickup truck. And these aren't just normal pickup trucks. They're on like huge mudding tires and stuff like that. And they'll have lawn chairs laid out. And me and my friends, no joke, had a minivan because we had so many of us going. We all had cars. We decided to borrow one of our parents' minivan and go. And we opened this, both the sides, the minivan doors. We had the trunk popped open, and we're just hanging out. It was pretty funny. Girls were like, "Are you guys seriously like hollering at girls in a minivan?" And we're like, "Hell yeah, we are. Hop in." It didn't work so well. So eventually, we ended up parking the minivan, and we're just walking up and down the strip. And that's what a lot of people did. So here's where the funniest part comes in. None of us really found it worth it to go and buy beads, but we did see a few laying on the ground. Specifically, only like 2 pair, or 2 strands, 2 strings, 2 necklaces. I don't know, what do you call beads? Whatever. So one of my friends picked these up, and we're like, well, we better make these last because we're not going to buy beads. And, we're young teenage boys in high school. We're pretty excited to throw some beads and see what we can see. So what my friend does, this guy was actually valedictorian of our high school a year later, so he's a smart kid, is he gets the beads, and without seeing it, it's hard to imagine, but this was hilarious. Girls, these girls are pretty trash, So as he saw a good-looking girl, or some well-endowed girl, he would just wave the beads. "Hey, you want some beads?" And the girls would be like, "Yes," and generally they would lift up their shirt, and then what he would do is he would hold the beads, wrinkle them up in his hand. And if you ever pretended to throw a ball to a dog and the dog turns, well, he would do that. He would hold the beads in his hand and throw it, make a throwing motion, and then put the beads in his pocket real quick. And the girls would look and be like, "Where'd they go?" And he'd just be like, "Behind you. The beads landed right somewhere behind you." And then we'd keep walking. And girl, oh my god, it was so funny. They would just look around like, where are these beads? Like, what are you gonna do with beads? I don't know. But this was hilarious, and we literally did this the whole night. So at least like 15, 20 times. And then here, one other part of Panama City, same guy, same beads. We're walking and girls walk up next to us. And somehow conversation starts, you know, and they had a lot of beads around their neck. And he's like, well, how'd you get all these beads? And, you know, they're like, well, this is how we got them. He's like, oh, well, I have a pair of beads here for you. So, and this girl wants the beads. So she does the act that gets her beads. And my friend, like, looks and says, no, those aren't worth these beads. And kept walking. And this girl's, like, flipping out. She's screaming at him. She is not happy. And hopefully someone gave her beads. Even though she had a ton, hopefully someone gave her some more beads. Because, I don't know, she probably did not get hugged enough as a child. Anyway, let's move on to our next spring break story. Or our next spring break location. This time we're in Freeport, Bahamas. This was during college. And there's a few things that happened there. Personally, if you're ever thinking about going, I didn't really like Freeport that much. Nassau, I hear, is much better. Oh, we need to stop and watch what's on the screen right now. First of all, yes, you can tell I'm not really good at driving. But look at this. I see that guy. I'm like, perfect. Woo. Oh, I missed him. So I start reversing. I get hit. We're disabled. I can't move. And then I take him down. But I don't know. I thought that was pretty funny that I missed. But I thought it would have been even more impressive if I would have hit him. Okay, we're in Freeport. I don't really recommend it. I recommend going to other parts of the Bahamas if you're ever down there. But let's talk about some funny things. We will start on one of the nights we're there. We actually, and this, maybe that's part of the reason it stunk. We were in some rinky-dink hotel because it was cheaper, sort of off the beach. And no one was there. It was like empty except for our next door neighbors were like more girls than there were guys. So that was excellent for us. But I'm digressing. So let's move on to just two quick little funny stories there. So what our typical plan was is we'd go out to the beach in the morning, we'd hang out all day, then we'd come back and we'd all take naps, and then we'd go out for the night. Well, when we took our naps, there wasn't enough beds because we were cheap, and so half of us had to crash on couches and reclining chairs and things like that. So one day we're there getting ready to take our daily naps, except for me because I have trouble sleeping in the day, so I don't typically take naps. And anyway, everyone's asleep, I'm just sitting there resting my eyes, and this guy just walks into our place and starts looking around. I immediately jump up, I'm sort of scared, I don't know what to say, I just put my hands out like a, what are you doing kind of thing, and he leaves. Oh, I'm sorry. We were told before we got there, make sure you lock everything up because people literally would just walk in there and take anything. So this must be true, but it gets better. That night, the girls next door come around the front door and they knock like, go out back, something's going on. We run out, we see this guy behind some dark corner with his hand in his pants making some weird motions, and the girls said just a few minutes ago they were upstairs changing and the window was cracked open. So I guess that's not too funny, but it's sort of just crazy that this goes on and it's just like that. And whatever. So let's move on to one that is pretty funny. One more story. And this time we're talking about Cancun, Mexico. Been there twice. I highly recommend it. It is so much fun. It's just completely different there. I'm going to make it quick because we are running low on time. We went there and we bought a whole bunch of healthy food because, you know, we wanted to try to stay in shape and eat clean and exercise and stuff like that. Well, it didn't really happen. I want to admit now, I don't drink alcohol at all anymore. I'm 23 years old. I really don't drink at all. More for health reasons than anything else. But I used to drink a lot. And we were getting most of our calories from all the drinks we were buying. So we didn't eat any of our food. And near one of the last nights, we had a whole bag of frozen chicken breasts. And I was like, man, we need to get rid of these. And I'm pretty much out of it at this point. And I decided to start cooking up chicken. I'm doing seasoning and stuff. And everyone said it was like the best chicken they ever had. Well, when I made mine, we were completely out of plates. I was making it for other people and stuff. So I take the pan I was cooking them in right off the stovetop and go to eat my thing. Funny thing is, I sat it right on my lap. Well, I was so drunk, I didn't notice at all. My friends said they heard sizzling. Well, the next morning I woke up, went to the beach, and I was like, oh my god, my leg hurts so bad. I'm going to have to add something random here at the end because I ran out of time. But I was like, oh my god, my leg is hurting so bad. What is up? I lift up my shorts and it's completely like burnt. I had no clue what was going on. And then they told me the story that I took the pan right off the stove, sat in my lap and ate my chicken. and burnt my whole leg up, and I happened to leave the stove on. So it's just one of the funny things you can do, and hopefully you found some of these entertaining. I know they're not like super crazy, and we have more. Maybe this I'll do more later. But there's some funny things that can happen when you're, hanging out with your friends in some crazy places. So if you have any interesting things to share, leave it in the comments and your opinions of Conquest and whatnot. Happy gaming, everyone.